The purpose of this video is to show you how to fill out a social worker / counselor referral. This would be sent out if you have a concern about a student's mental well-being or if you want to refer them to the wellness room on campus. So the best way to show you how to fill this out is just to fill it out myself. So I'm going to go ahead and go through each of these questions. So you're going to put the student's first name and the student ID number. Just because it's the counselor, we do not want to put last name, we just want first name and student ID. Just make sure that the student ID is correct so that way you can find the right first name, last name of someone. Again, just make sure that's correct. So 8th grade, your name, staff email. This is going to be the email that you're getting a receipt email to, just so that way you have something for your own records. So just make sure it's one that you actually check. Date. Does the student have an IEP or a 504? We gave you 3 answers, so yes, no, I'm not sure. So just pick the one that fits best. In this case, I'm just going to put no. Do you think a student would benefit from using the wellness room? The wellness room is a place on campus for students to learn coping strategies and mindfulness activities and even get counseling. They have to get referred and approved to go there. So if you feel that they would benefit, please put yes or maybe. You don't have to, but just that's what that is and why it's important. So I'm going to go ahead and just put yes. For the next one, the next section, it's going to say what are the primary concerns. So you're just going to go through the different kinds of concerns that you have about the student. This is just so that the counselor has more information, so when they meet with the student, they don't have like a blank. They have some questions that they can actually ask the student to find out more about what's going on. So we have a variety of feelings right here. If you have one that's not on here, there's an other section. You just click here and type in what you want to type. You also have an option for I don't have any concerns about the mood or behavior. So in this case, I'm just going to pick these two. What are your school concerns? So these are just academic concerns. And again, they have a I do not have any concerns or another. What concerns do you have about the student's relationships with others? So this is just what you see on campus. So in this case, I'm just going to put poor relationships with peers. What concerns do you have with the student's home life? You may not know. If you suspect something, I would either write it in the other if it's not abuse. But if you don't have any concerns because you just don't know anything about that student's life and you don't see any hints of anything, you can go ahead and put I don't have any concerns about the home life. If you suspect abuse at home hasn't been reported, we are mandated reporters, so if you suspect abuse, please report it. If it doesn't apply, just put NA. If it's something that falls along the other line, just click that and go ahead and type it in. Does the student have suicidal ideation or do they show signs of self-harming? So I'm going to go ahead and put yes on this so that way you guys can see why that email was a little different. If it is a maybe, you're not sure. If it is a maybe at all, I would definitely put yes so that way this shows up as urgent. If it's something that like you're totally not sure but you don't feel comfortable with putting yes, just write it in the other right here. So if you answered yes or maybe to the question above, can you give a little bit more information? If you didn't write yes to that, you can just put NA. Just to make this go a little quicker, I'm just going to push NA or put NA. And then is there any additional information regarding your concerns? Again, it's just giving you more of a chance to write in a little bit more detail for the counselor. So the next section is going to be about the relevant data and evidence. So it's just things that you have tried in order to alleviate this behavior or things you've tried to do to make it a little bit better. In this case, I'm just going to put phone call home, met with student one-on-one. And then the last question on this form is going to be, is there anything that was not asked that you would like me to know? So maybe you're going through this and you're saying like, I think the question's going to come up and it just never did. This would be your chance to tell the counselor whatever it is you wanted to say but was never asked. So in this case, I'm just going to put NA. All of these questions are required. It just gives the counselor more information on all of it. Again, if there's something when it says notes, you don't have any more notes, just put NA. So once I submit that, it's going to go ahead and do its own thing and it's going to send out some emails. So I'm going to go over to my mailbox. It's going to take a few seconds. But the emails that are going to show up are what's going to be sent to the counselor, and then it's also going to be showing you what was sent to you. So because this was I pushed yes on suicidal ideation, it's going to show up as urgent for the counselor. And the reason for that is so that way the counselor puts this as a higher priority. It just makes sure that the counselor knows that the student needs to be talked to right away. Most likely you probably already notified somebody verbally, but this just, again, is just making sure that it's pushing itself up the ladder. So if you do not push yes, it's going to just send the counselor a regular email like this. It's not going to say urgent. The counselor knows that there's a concern, obviously, but it's not going to be marked urgent like this one. So those are the two emails that the counselor themselves will see, and they're going to go ahead and print this out for their own records. So just make sure everything's correct. So the email that you're going to get is going to look like this, and it's just a receipt email. It's really just so that way you can have something for your records. We understand that a lot of teachers like to keep records of emails that they've sent out, especially ones that are a little bit more concerning like these. So this is for you. You do not have to keep it, but if you would like to, that's for you. So that is how to fill out a TMS counselor social worker referral.